Old allies clearly pleased to see each other in these uncertain times. Gathering to talk about European security, this informal summit was long planned, but now it has a new sense of urgency as Trump threatens leaders here in Brussels with a trade war. Into this, the British Prime Minister at NATO HQ for talks with the Defence Alliance chief.
First one in Brussels, yeah, literally got it this morning.
This grip and grasp part of a wider reset of EU-UK relations, as the old post-war alliances between the US and Europe come under strain. President Trump presses for peace, this pair pressing for more allied support.
The UK is also a firm friend to Ukraine. Going forward, we must not only sustain, but continue to step up our support, so that, when the time comes, Ukraine can sit at the negotiating table in a position of strength and pursue a good deal for lasting peace.
Peace will come through strength, and we must do all that we can to support Ukraine's defence. So I'm here to work with our European partners on keeping up the pressure, targeting the energy revenues and the companies supplying his missile factories, to crush Putin's war machine.
Be it from forcing Ukraine to the negotiating table to threatening trade wars with allies, isn't it the truth that President Trump is a bad thing for Europe's economic prosperity and security?
On the question, firstly, of tariffs, obviously it's early days. I do think it's right for us to acknowledge the role that the US have played in relation to the joint effort on Ukraine. And that's, of course, pivotal because it's not just a question of a war or the sovereignty of Ukraine. It is not just a European issue. It's a question of global security. And one thing that's come out of the awful conflict in Ukraine is actually a stronger and bigger NATO, which I think is really important.
The Prime Minister's going straight from here to an EU dinner with 27 fellow leaders. A British Prime Minister hasn't done such a thing since Brexit, so the symbolism of it all is clear. He wants to reset relations, but all of it is overshadowed by growing tensions between Brussels and Washington. And what that means for London, well, that's really unclear. Keir Starmer hopes he can forge closer trading and security ties with Europe after a bumpy Brexit, while still keeping President Trump on side. The Prime Minister insists he won't pick between the UK's closest allies, but that could prove much easier said than done. Beth Rigby, Sky News, Brussels.